Rick. I'll be with you in just a second, Rick. Nothing like playing music, a piano, losing yourself. It's a great way to unwind, decompress after a long, long day. Music, the sound of the piano. Nothing better, nothing better. You probably didn't know I played the piano, did you, huh? No, it's something I don't talk about too much. I don't even let Mike know about it. But it's a great way to unwind. In fact, Oops! Busted! Sorry. You thought I could play the piano? Oh, please. Good heavens. Do you know how much work it takes to play the piano? It takes a dedication. It takes a commitment. It's much more than a feeling. It's a discipline you gotta practice each and every day. It's best to begin when you're young. But truthfully, I did take piano lessons when I was in my mid-20s, when I was studying theology. Enjoyed it, give you early morning practice, but kind of late start. And then what happened, I had to stop because I went back to school when I was working at the high school, working at the parish. But to tell you the truth, I wish I stuck with it though. Even take a little bit each day, and who knows where I would have been today if I only stuck with it. Because it is a great thing. You know, it's a lot with our faith. Our faith takes a commitment. It takes a dedication. It can't be something that we wish. Oh, I wish I was closer to God. I wish I knew Jesus. I wish I prayed more. Because also, like piano playing, when we get up in years, we look back, gee, I wish I stuck with it. And so I want to encourage now in our all to Jesus, you know. This is it. It takes, first and foremost, a commitment to decide that I am going to take my spiritual life seriously. No matter what it may cost, what it may sacrifice or demands, because like a piano, there's a sacrifice in it. You know, it takes your time. You've got things you could be doing, but no, I got to practice, I got to stick with it. But then, it's the payoff. There's a great big payoff. So, I am yours. That's our theme in this week, and it means that I want to give myself to our Lord. And we're going to learn how to do that little by little and make music for our God. So anyway, we better get out of here before I get security's called, because I can't be at this piano. We'll talk later. Well, I'm back home here at the parish. I sort of enjoyed that little playing the piano bit there anyway. Just I was a little afraid about security or someone seeing us there because it was roped off, but anyway. But that piano is a good lesson, though, for that. I think it's best to learn piano when you are young. Earlier, the better. Have that discipline, that commitment. But if not, even if you're older, if you enjoy the piano, you should do it. And I keep thinking one day I'm going to go back to the piano. So when I retire, that's what I'd like to do. Again, with our spiritual life. It's great to start young, right? Bring them up young, know the Lord, be close to Him. But many of us, it didn't work out that way, or was half in, half out, undecided, unsure. But maybe now you might feel that tug, you know, in your heart. And I just think that even this title, I Am Yours, I think a lot of us would really like that. You know, not just merely be words, but something that we really feel this is who I am, that I have given my life to Christ. But you know, it doesn't come easy. It's not overnight. But we live in a society that everything is quick. Remember that comedian? What's his name? It was Yakov Smirnoff. It was back in the day, I don't know, maybe 70s or 80s, I forget when. And he was from Russia, came over to the United States, and part of his routine was talking about the wonders of living in America, how things are so different. He said, our grocery stores, he said. Man, the first time we went to the grocery store, he walked going down the aisles and he saw powdered milk. Just add water. Whoa. Then a little further down, powdered juice. Add water, presto, orange juice. And then he got in the other aisle and he saw what? Baby powder. He said, oh my goodness, what a country. Well, you know, that's not that way it works. Not everything's that instant. It takes time, day after day, week after week, month after month, is to be committed, you know. So I'm asking us to make a decision. Now and then I like to read about the early church. What a difference. But also quite a similarity to the way we're living right now. I think it's a great time to be living now in this time, this society, because it's really going to be a not Christian culture. Do you mind be what it was like to be an early Christian? For one, the pagan gods were much, much stronger. So if you were a stonemason, that's your livelihood. What would you do if they asked you to to build a temple to one of the pagan gods. If you're a tailor, to make a robe for the pagan priest. It was difficult. In fact, in the year 240 or so, one of the fellows was in such a situation, and he said to Tertullian, "What am I going to do? What am I going to do? I got to live." And Tertullian said to him, "Do you?" It means that it may be necessary sometimes even to give up your life, because this is your commitment. Now, I'm not saying that's what we're asking for today when I say I am yours, but but it means go a little bit further and really say, hey, I'm surrendering my life over to the Lord. But it was so much, though. It was, and then about the persecution of the Christians. It wasn't just being fed to the lions, okay, being tortured. It was terrible what Nero would do to the Christians. They used them as human torches, put pilch on them, and line his garden, and put the Christians on fire to be like a lamp for the walkway. Imagine the suffering and the pain. Not only were they fed to lions, but they would put animal skins on the Christians and then set out these hungry dogs that would just savagely, chew them and destroy them. Oh, the poor hot boiling oil on them. It was horrendous, cutting off, blinding them, taking their eyes out. I don't want to make this revolting, but when I hear what they went through, and part of the problem with the Romans, they didn't mind other religions because they accepted it. All they wanted them was to be loyal to Caesar. And so each year you had to get a little pinch of incense, toss it in the fire and say, Caesar is Lord. Now, the problem was the Christians wouldn't do that. They would now, be honest with you, I'm not saying all Christians didn't do it. I'm sure some of them had a little incense and hand behind their back with their fingers crossed probably, and okay, this is what it takes, I'll do it, keep you happy. But there were a good number, though, that actually would be willing to die. Willing to die, and they would refuse to say that Caesar is Lord. So our phrase, Jesus is Lord, is something the Christians made up. This is what they were saying about their pagan gods, and in this case, even Caesar. See what it takes then, this commitment and a choice and a decision. Well, right here on our property, we have a family that came from Iraq. O'Day, months ago we showed a little video about him, how he became a Christian. Quite astounding in that Muslim country. And he got it not so much from reading scriptures, but reading history books, he said, and hearing about this person, Christ. And what really struck him, he said, was Jesus' teaching, especially about turning the other cheek, about forgiveness. And he was curious, and that led him to investigate further. So finally he decided to become a Christ follower, a disciple of Christ, to become a Christian, and he was baptized Catholic. But that caused havoc in his home, just like in the early church. Someone would become Christian and the other didn't, there was division. It had to be one or the other, family or Jesus. So even he explained that with his wife they got divorced because of his faith. Thanks be to God, they came back together, and she was curious about this faith, and he led her to Christ, and taken her to a church, and remember the pastor prayed over her, and her eyes were healed. But that's amazing to me also. I see him, what he went through to become, a Christ follower, become a Christian, become a Catholic. He honestly was willing to put his life up, for risk. And reminds me of a story. Way back, I used to work at summer camp. This was up in Goshen, New York. It was a day camp, by the way, this time. Usually I worked at resident camp, so this was a day camp. And I was in charge each afternoon. I was in charge of religious education to the kids. We always give them some sort of talk. And I remember began the day with around the flagpole. We had morning prayers and announcements. So I had to set it up for later on that morning. And so here was the setup. I told them, I'm glad you're here today. I'm surprised you're here today, kids, because I'm sure you heard in the news about these terrorists who are going to try to, are after Christians. I'm surprised your parents let you come to camp, but don't worry, you'll be safe here. So anyway, we set it up. Then later, right before lunch, all the kids gathered in church, and I had to talk to them. And I had the counselors. We had a rifle range. I had the guns not loaded, and they had little like stockings, the mask on them. And I'm talking to the kids, and all of a sudden the sirens went off, and I had the priest, the camp director, make an announcement, attention all campers, please stay where you are. And all of a sudden, be careful. And all of a sudden these guys burst into the church, and with these guns, and the kids were kind of scared at first. And they announced, okay, anyone who's not a Christian, you can leave now. Any Christians, you stay. You see what happened to you. And all of a sudden the kid just stood in terror. It was working fantastic. The kid just looked horrified, not knowing what to do, until one of the campers, I guess, saw through. He got up and he charged one of them. And once he saw nothing happen, they all came running out of the pews, and it was havoc. And was knocked one of the statues down. I had, okay, call the kids off. But I wanted to see what was their commitment, what was their, dedication to our Lord. It's going to be that way in society. We're going to have to make a decision to say, truly is, I am yours, whatever it costs, whatever it takes. And sometimes it'll not be physical, pain or suffering, but it's that psychological, being made fun of, being ignored, being the butt of jokes, being ridiculed. And it's hard to, it'd be hard to admit that. So on this, as we go through this process, have you made a decision, a commitment, that Jesus is Lord of your life, whatever it takes, more than anything else? Now, it may not come easy, it may not be this great feeling, but this is the desire, and we pray for it. Lord, I want to be totally yours. Do you think about that and pray about it? And now I'd like to turn you over to your group and to read the scriptures and share the questions. And hopefully, little by little, all of us can move closer to being totally belonging to Jesus. Hopefully, I'll see you next week. God bless.
You call me out upon the waters, the great unknown, where feet may fail. And there I find you in the mystery, in oceans deep, my faith will stand. Rise, my soul will rest in